right? Hopefully it doesn't fall. All right, so again, my name is Dylan Shivley. Thank you guys for giving me the time to speak to you. Just like what Eric was saying, you have a lot of people who may want to enroll, but what happens when things outside of your control happen? Like when that client does fail the credit check so they can get the financing to get their panels. Well, that's where we can step in, and we can step in multiple ways. So think of the amount of people that you could have moved forward. I think if I remember right, it's an average check of 7,000 once, after the mentorship. So think of however many people that could have went forward that you could have earned that average check. Now, is it safe to say maybe there's at least 2 or 3 people in a month? Is that like a safe number to say? You know at least 2 or 3 people that you would want to enroll, but they couldn't just due to credit? Well, so think if it's 2 to 3 people, what we do is we can add an additional $14,000 to $21,000 a month to your business, because there's things that are outside of your control, like that credit space. Now, there's a lot of ways that we solve this problem. So we can either take over the client's entire file. You can do just a quick recommendation to us. You actually will put that client through our portal. It'll register your name so we know who entered in that client. And if they want to have a conversation with us, the consultation is free. We'll talk to them. We'll look through the credit report. We'll see what's holding them back. Once we know what's holding them back, whether it's collections, charge-off accounts, broken leases, evictions, bankruptcies, if it is that wireless actually became very popular recently since phones are over $1,000 a piece and everybody finances. There's a lot of collections in that state with AT&T and Verizon and T-Mobile. So what we can do is we can file those disputes on the client's behalf. We can clean their credit up, and then we can get them qualified. So then that way you can go from a fail to a pass. So I always say that our job is 2 parts. Number 1 is we want to improve the overall quality of lifestyle for our clients, because I truly believe someone with a 450 score and a 750 score live 2 completely different lifestyles. They drive different cars. They live in different homes. They get granted different opportunities. Their kids go to different schools that allow them for future college opportunities. I know, like, at least where I'm from, originally from Pennsylvania, depending on what high school you went to, some colleges wouldn't accept you just because of the school you came from. So, it really matters what opportunities you grant your kids. And I know for the consultants in the room, one of the main reasons, if you do have kids, if you do have a family, you don't do it just for you. You do it to improve your family's lifestyle, the quality of how you guys live. So we do the same thing. That's the problem we're looking to solve. I say it's twofold. Number 1 is to help the people that come across us. Number 2 is to help our partners improve the quality of their lifestyle and take the time that you guys do on these consultations, because I know it's a simple submission, but over time, it's time out of your day to try to get somebody qualified. Somebody who wants to get a product and service that you offer that they just can't get due to credit. So our second part of this job is to help our partners that put trust in us so we can take those clients and get them qualified, which brings your family to that next tax bracket, to that next level, however you want to identify or qualify yourself there, whatever it is that you're after. So there's a couple different ways we can help, especially recently. So here's some things we've been working on. We've always been known to be the company that will take over everything for the client's credit report. You may have a lot of people say, oh, I'll fix my credit. I'll do it myself. But then you go and you follow up with them, and maybe they didn't go that route because they didn't know really where to start. Maybe they hit Google, maybe they hit YouTube, they got a letter or 2, and they're just trying to submit and they're giving it a shot. But it gets really discouraging fast when you get a response from a credit bureau that says everything you're investigating, looks good to go. It's validated. Or if you ever see the technical is meets FCRA requirements, well, then they don't know what to do after. And that's all right, because now we can help them also do it themselves, but we give them an entire platform to do. So check this out. The only people that don't want to move forward with repairing their credit is if they can't justify the cost of what it takes to invest to get themselves started. So if you have somebody who does want to work with us and they just couldn't, afford what the costs were, it just didn't fit in the budget, whatever the case is, what we did is we offered financing. So now they can finance that amount, and we also report it to their credit report to help them build positive credit. Because here's a quick credit 101. Your credit score is your risk score. It's how risky you are as a borrower. If you are approved for this loan, what is the probability of you defaulting within a 24-month period? So that's what that 3-digit number is. That's what it represents. So the way they come up with that is based on 5 factors that influence the score. And now those factors are going to be different for everybody because everybody uses credit differently. Some don't use it at all. Some used it before and now they haven't used it in years. Some have used it often and they've abused it. But it doesn't matter where they fall because our job is to remove as many negative items as possible and then increase and help them rebuild and restructure the credit report specifically because we know what they're looking to achieve. So one of the questions I ask all the time is, hey, when you're looking to enroll and get your credit fixed, what are you after? What do you want to leverage your credit for? Everybody wants to do things different. Some want to buy a house. Some want to just get approved for the panels. Some want to get bigger lines of credit. They want to get a personal loan. They want to debt consolidate. They want to buy a new car. They want to do it for many different reasons. So I'd like to just kind of put this out and make it, make you think about it a little bit different. You can also look at us as a lead gen source because watch how this can happen. Just by listening to the presentation now, it got my wheels turning. So how else can you talk about what you do? Well, if you're given some tips about credit, maybe whether it's sharing our post, creating your own, whatever it is, if you're talking about something indirectly, maybe you just help somebody finance equipment. And I don't know if there's is there interest or anything like that is on those panels when they finance? I'd imagine so the better the score, the lower the risk, and maybe they can save money on the interest. Not make it go away, but a lower rate. So if that's the case, imagine if your next post was, hey, on this house at 123 Main Street, at one time they weren't able to get these solar panels installed so they can start saving on their energy bill. They just weren't approved just due to credit. Now, of course, I'm on the spot just putting it together. You can make it more pretty. But they couldn't get approved just due to credit. I put them in a program that got their credit improved, and one of the benefits wound up being they were able to get the solar panels, and now I'm saving this client $220 a month. Something along those lines. Well, the stick out for people when they read it is, wait, you had a way to help somebody fix their credit, and yeah, they got what they wanted, and maybe they wanted too. But even for the people who initially don't, they're curious about the credit space. How did you help them fix their credit? Well, now that earns you the opportunity to talk to them about solar too. Well, if you're interested in getting a higher score so you can lower the amount of money that you're paying for things you have to pay for every day, let me also look at that bill real quick. Because clearly you see the value in saving money. Because that's what we do. Your insurance, whether it's renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance, auto insurance, even life insurance, your utilities, electric, water, those are all dictated by your credit score. How much you pay. It's the details within the credit report that generate the score, and when any type of lender pulls it, depending on what that 3-digit number says, is going to qualify for how much you get to pay for whatever you need to pay for, even your own electric and water. So think how that can go, with all the CPS. I don't think I've met one person that loves CPS. Never. And well, they get you business. But think about I've never met somebody who was happy that, oh, hey, that inflation made my bill go up. I love CPS. It just doesn't happen, right? Well, that is controlled by what their score says. Because your credit score is your risk score, and this is a universal tool that you can leverage to wind up talking about solar. You can use this indirectly to say, I found a way to help people improve the quality of their lifestyle by improving their credit. Whether you say you make the recommendation, you're partnered with, whatever terminology you want to use. We educate people about how credit works. We go more in depth about the 5 factors. We teach the mechanics of what influences the score so we can teach people how to fix it even if it winds up being on their own. So if they want to hire us, consultations are free. We'll talk to your client till we're blue in the face. They're always going to hang up that phone or stop texting back when we end there, because we will text them, email them, whatever the preference is. By the time we're done, I can guarantee they didn't pay $1, even if they didn't sign up, and they're going to walk away with something new and valuable they didn't know that'll actually help them improve their credit, even if they don't hire us for services. So we have our fees. It's just a one-time. It ranges anywhere between $500 to $900 at an absolute most. Again, that's just once. That's not a per month thing. What dictates that cost and makes one person pay $500, $900, or anywhere in between is depending on how much paperwork we have to file. So here's the thing with credit. You can have two people with the same exact credit scores. One person could be a young kid, 18, 19, 20, 21, barely used credit before. Maybe got a couple medical bills on his report and isn't really using it much. Client B can be somebody who's in their 30s, 40s, 50s. Maybe they had a divorce X amount of years ago. And usually one person in the household has the better credit and the other one makes the better money. So the person with the better credit gets everything put in the name, the truck, the bike, everything goes usually like, I found it's like in the wife's name. And then the husband's like, hey, I promise I'm going to pay for everything. Don't worry about it. Right? But then when they split, usually divorce doesn't go well. So when the divorce happens, now he's just going to ride out the truck and ride on the bike as long as he can until they take it because it's not going to hurt him. But now the wife is stuck with this stuff on her credit. So maybe she has a lot of collections. Well, now in that case, how do you help somebody like that? Because she wants to save money on her bill because she's looking to penny pinch and save where she can. Well, solar makes sense. So if you can lower one of the household expenses, I'm sure she's all for it. But if she doesn't credit qualify, then you can't really help her. So we get added as that solution to say, hey, this person that we're trying to help that's in that situation, now we can go the whole way through and we can help. Maybe it's not a yes today, but it can be a yes in the next 2 to 4 to 6 months, depending on how serious the file is. But again, for the pricing in that scenario, when somebody has a lot of collections, we're just looking at our adjustment in paperwork because we send out physical letters. That's the only way to have a paper trail to get it done. So if client B has 30, 40, 50 items a month we're disputing and client A only has like 5 to 10, client A is going to pay a lot less because our paperwork load isn't as much because there's a physical cost to ink and paper and certified mail and stamps and sending out. So that is our only justification for the variation in price. They get the same level of service, same level of attention, same level of detail, same level of aggressiveness of trying to get collections removed because we know the sooner that we can do our job, the sooner you can then do yours and they can benefit from what we both have to offer. So this works over 90% of the time. But then there's some people that say, I don't want you to have access to that much information. Or I don't care how much you vouch for this company, I just don't trust it. Usually because they've been burned before. They had a bad experience. Well, if that's the case, we used to not have an answer up until about a week ago. So just kind of how like you guys revamped your whole thing and started blowing up, I believe this is going to be the same thing with us. So now we took it a step further. And what we did is we now offer a do-it-yourself for clients. We provide them with the software. We provide them with the letters. They don't have to become a credit expert. They don't have to learn the laws. They don't have to figure out how to word things. They don't have to figure out how to type it out and what information goes where. They don't have to figure out where to mail it. It's all done for them. So what we do is we offer a do-it-yourself for clients. They get access to everything. They can go from creating an account, finding out everything to dispute, have letters generated and printed out in less than 6 minutes. Everything. Now, I was thinking about doing a demo, but I don't want to take up too much time. Maybe I could do it sometime after to walk you guys through how that looks. But just to give you a little bit of insight, what our system does is we already have an AI from the system that we use for James Warren Group. What we did is we took the same exact AI and recreated the memory, pretty much like a duplicate, and we put it in our system for the do-it-yourself. Here's how cool it is. So of our time, we've been doing this for about 6 years. We have just over 6,300 active clients. We enroll about 150 to 250 new clients a week. So the reason I give those numbers is because you can imagine how many disputes have been done over a 10-year period of time. It's roughly just over 500,000 so far registered in our system. So where the AI gets really intelligent is its ability to remember things. Because I can tell you, I don't remember shit, right? Like I'm good in the moment. You ask me tomorrow about what happened today, and there's a good chance I forgot. But AI doesn't do that. It's perfect. The computer doesn't fail. So here's how it works. Let's say if you're going to enroll and you're looking at your credit report. Once you order the report, it automatically puts it in. Then as soon as it's in, it's going to go ahead and highlight everything in red automatically. So you don't have to figure out what are the errors on my report. What am I able to dispute? It's going to pick everything for you. You can either hit select all, or you can go ahead and you can pick the things that you want to dispute. We'll automatically suggest the reason. Now here's how that happens. So in our memory of those 500,000 disputes, let's say it's an AT&T account that is one of those accounts you're trying to dispute. Well, of those almost 500,000 times that we've ran a letter, maybe AT&T we've done 100,000 times. And of that memory, it'll look at the top 3 letters and say what was the one that had the most deletions based on the content we put in the letter. And then that's going to be the suggested letter for your client. That all happens in about 6 seconds. So it imports in, highlights everything of what you can dispute. Client looks at it, says, yes, I want to dispute these things. AI goes back in memory, gives a suggested letter to use based on our data of these last 6 years of with that type of account, what got the most deletions, what verbiage worked the best. That's the suggested letter. With a click of a button, everything is ready. It's ready kind of like in a PDF, and you could go ahead and you could print it out. It already puts your information, your account numbers, the verbiage in there. It already puts TransUnion, Experian, Equifax in there, and you can go ahead and print it out. So you have those 3 letters ready to go. As soon as you print it out, you could go mail it off, and you're on your way. Now what the system will do, as soon as you confirm with it, hey, I've sent out the letters, it'll start the clock and send you a reminder. It's usually about every 40 days you get an update. And it'll be in there every time you log in. It'll send you push notifications. Here's how many days away we are until you want to go ahead and refresh your reports and see what the update is. So it is the most intuitive do-it-yourself that exists. Most do-it-yourself platforms say, hey, we're going to throw you some letters and you got to pay us a monthly subscription of anywhere from like $89 to $100 a month. They don't do a fraction of what we do. And at that, everything included for that client is $39 a month. So we give them the best chance at doing it themselves if they want to. They're not obligated to sign up with us and for us to take it over. But if they want us to take it over, we can. Because here's the honest truth about credit repair, and I don't care who says anything different. I'm telling you right now, as somebody who's been doing this for 6 years, the only time you ever hire a credit repair company is for pure convenience of you not wanting to do it yourself. There is no magic letter. There is no wand. There is no connection with the bureaus. There's no, that's a lot of like sales and marketing. You can do what we can do. The reason we may do it, I don't want to say better, but we have a better track record of getting results is because that is all we do and we're super consistent with it. And over time, we figure out what works and what doesn't, and we can roll with the punches, and we're really adamant about the time that we get things done. But it's not impossible for somebody to do it themselves. So think about the people over your time of being a solar consultant and think, how many people do I know that need to fix their credit? And maybe I had an okay solution, but I'm not really sure what the status is. I'm not really sure if they did it. How do you know how to follow up with them? So either you can make the recommendation with us, and you can say, hey, I can connect you with the company, and they have multiple options. They could do it for you, or they can supply you with the software where you can do it for yourself. There's absolutely no reason why you can't get those people enrolled in one of the 2 options. Because people either say, I want somebody to do it for me, or they say, I think I could do it myself, I just need a little guidance. Well, now we give them both options. And no matter which way that you go, your clients get enrolled through a portal that's kind of just like how you like go in your back office. Think of like we offer the same or similar back office where you put your clients in and then you get the updates on everything that's happening. You'll find out when they've sent letters, when they get their updates, what the updates were. You can see the scores. You can see what's been deleted, what's been repaired on the credit report. I don't know if anybody knows offhand, do you know like what the minimum credit score requirement is for them to be a pass or fail? Is that a thing that is 650? Normally like a 650? Okay. Do you happen to know like if it's like a specific credit bureau that they're using, or do they look at all 3? They look at all 3 and they pick the best one. Okay. So you'll get access to all 3. That is standard. You'll see all 3 scores. But then as soon as you know that you hit that 650 mark, and whatever that minimum, requirement is, well, now you have a reason to go follow up with that client to ask them, hey, how's credit repair going? Right? And you know how it's going, but hey, how's credit repair going? Hey, I'm actually starting to see some results. That's great that you're seeing some results. Hey, I just happen to be looking at my dashboard since I've made the referral, and I think we got something here. We could probably get you qualified. Do you want to go ahead and move forward? Do you want to set an appointment? Do you want me to come back out? Do you want me to do a requote? Again, I don't know the terminology. If there's like a quote that only lasts for so long, I'm just kind of assuming there. But whatever verbiage you want to use, we're giving you a reason to follow up. So in big picture, to kind of wrap it up, first, we could be your lead gen. You can talk about something that is universal to everything, helping people improve their credit. And that directly aligns with what you do and how you talk about solar, because it's about helping people. Well, somebody who gets improved credit, again, they drive different cars, they live in different homes, in different area codes, they get different opportunities, things they have to pay for, they'll pay less. So this directly aligns with how you're going to help people. And it's an indirect way to still have the conversation about solar because you need to qualify in order to get the panels. So we can be that lead gen source, and then we can also be your reason for following up with the client. And as you guys know, if you have any previous sales training, or even I'm sure there's training within here, let's say the average is about 8 to 12 follow-ups it takes usually to close a deal. Well, now you have a reason to follow up. You don't have to just do the basic, hey, I'm just checking in. You thought about it yet? Hey, I'm just checking in. Did you talk to, your significant other? Did you talk to your spouse? Hey, what did they say about it? Well, if you help them with something like their credit and you're checking in to see the progress of that, hey, it looks like the trajectory of the score is going up. It looks like you're seeing some improvement. You're really close to qualifying. Did you have the conversation yet? Or do you know when you're ready to get started? So it's a different way to talk about it and give you more of a reason to follow up with your clients, because as long as you're in front of them in one way or another, they're going to be more likely to go ahead and get their panels and set up and sign up with you. So I always like to say our job is twofold. We help the people that put their trust in us so we can improve their credit. And then we also help our partners, the people who are referring over, so we're helping you with your business. Like I said before, if the average commission check is $7,000, at least 2 to 3 people in a month may be a realistic number. I hope it is, and I'm not overshooting it. But even 2 to 3 people a month, that's an extra $14,000 to $21,000 a month. So that's our value add to you. Thanks, guys.
All right. One question. Down with the customer.
Yeah.
Fail credit. So you know what? We're with a partner. They'll help you out. They have these programs. And let's say they say, I like to do it yourself program. I like that.
Yeah.
What do they pay up front?
Just the $39 a month. No upfront fee.
It's all done online too, right?
Yep. So actually, can I use this real quick?